What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to YGOPD, your Yu-Gi-Oh! Professional Development, and today I have something really exciting to share with you guys. This is a live twin deck profile. Never had the chance to really get my hands on this just because they were a little bit expensive on initial release, and then continued to creep up and climb with the hype around these Sprite blends. Went back down just a little bit with Bystials, but then finally have become accessible both in their original rarity and in their reprint in the newly released sets to make them quite affordable. So I went ahead and picked this up, and I've been having a really good time playing with this and testing with this. It is a little bit difficult with the Bystials around, but still is a really fun rogue pick, extremely consistent, and of course a ton of space to put in whatever you want to counter the meta. But before we hop into it, I will give a quick shout out to all of our new subs. Boris and Android, thank you all so much for joining the channel. If you want to be included in the next sub shout out, just make sure your subscriptions are public when you subscribe so I can see who you are and include you. With all that said, we'll go ahead and hop right into the deck profile. Okay, we're going to go ahead and start with the main deck. Like I mentioned, this is just pure. I wanted to take some time and really get used to the deck itself, the mechanics, before going crazy with Sprite. And we've had enough of Sprite in tier. I wanted something a little bit different. But I'll start off with the Live Twin engine. Of course, all the cards I'm going to show you are one-card starters, meaning by themselves, they're getting you all the way up to your Link 4, while getting you ideally a draw along the way and or a pop going first or second. So we have 3 of those, and then we have 3 of Lilla as well. Again, our 6 main monsters, we're maxing out on them. Again, we're not doing the Sprite variant, so we're focusing on the main starters that the archetype has available. And then we have triple Sunny Snitch, obviously, again, to get more names. Same thing with the secret password. 3 of those, and then I am actually maxing out on home as well. I'm kind of surprised that I see people only play this at 2. This is by far the best starter and the best extender this deck has should you get interrupted to still get your extra name on board. A discard doesn't really matter because you're typically getting that back through a card like Frost, so it's not really that big of a deal. And then rounding it out, we have our extenders, of course, the standard package of 2 Frost and the 1 Treat. I really like Frost. I've almost considered bumping it up a little bit more to 3, but for now 2 is fine. And then we do play the 1 Garnet. You need this just for the Sunny Snitch effect to send and kind of get some spot removal and utility out of your extra deck. So, but this is a really cool mechanic since you're already playing this. Ultimate Slayer is an amazing side deck card if you have that, but you know, it has to be here sadly. So that's it for the engine. This deck is almost a 20-20 split, similar to Marincess. This is at 19 here, and then we have 21 in the remaining cards that we can dedicate to whatever we want. I chose to have a few of those slots be dedicated to just some general consistency. I become a big fan of these 5 cards in these types of style decks, which are 2 Desires, 2 Tactics, and of course the 1 Called by the Grave to kind of help play through anything, and has decent utility both going first and second right now against the meta, like mainly Tearlament. After that, the rest of the slots in here are going to be dedicated to hand traps, board breakers, interruption pieces, all that kind of stuff, mainly just defensive cards. So starting off, I'll mainly showcase the hand traps here first. We are on 3 Infinite Impermanence. This is pretty straightforward, probably one of the best hand traps in the game for going first or second. And then we play triple Ash Blossom. Again, one of the more generic and better hand traps right now, since you can still ash a card like Kit Kalos, you can ash the mills off the Ishizus. You have some room kind of that this is just going to hit a lot, especially with the only other meta deck being around. Mainly kind of anti-tier calls like Flunder or Exosister. You want cards that can also hit that type of stuff, and that's where these fit in as well. And then 2 Ghost Spell. You can most likely bump this up to 3. I will probably as well. This is here over Skullmeister just because all of your starters, extenders, links, etc. in this deck are light and dark. So you want to be able to combo without having to worry about the Bystials. So Ghost Spell is really one of your best bets for doing that. So you can most definitely up this if you want. And then we do play a few Bystials, a little bit smaller. I'm just on 2 Druis Worm and 2 Magnamut. You can up this if you want. I wanted some diversity. I have bad luck a lot of the times with drawing multiples in 3 ofs. So 2 and 2 was perfectly fine. Haven't had too many issues with that. And then the last couple cards to round it out are 2 Droplet and then 2 Fenrir. You don't have to play Fenrir. I just like this. It's such a diverse card. I like seeing a mixture of the Bystials and the Fenrirs. Those help compensate if your live twins and stuff can get hit or different things like that, or you use that to bait out a lot of stuff before you then commit to that, and can just simply link climb since you already have an extra body on board. But these are kind of the interruption pieces that I've been a fan of. Droplet has always been a mainstay staple in this deck, particularly more so at least at 2 if not 3, just to be able to chain Droplet, get the live twin off the board, resolve the effect, and negate something on the way. Of course, you can play different substitutions a little bit more budget friendly, like enemy controller and things like that. You don't have to go hard into the Bystials if you're super concerned about making sure your live twins are going to be live and you don't want to worry about linking or crashing beforehand. You could obviously cut those for just more stuff like Skullmeister, DD Crow, other generic hand traps. But that is it for the main deck. And we'll go ahead and hop into the extra deck here. I will start with our generic pieces, and then I'll move into the live twin and evil twin package more so, just because it's pretty straightforward. We do play 1 Underworld Goddess and 1 Access Code. You could add, if you wish, a Unchained Abomination because it's a fiend. I just still prefer Underworld Goddess as my main pick here because, again, it's non-targeting, non-spot removal. You're spamming the monsters, spamming the board with a ton of monsters anyway between Bystials, Fenrir, Evil Twin, Live Twin links, all that stuff. So climbing into this is relatively easy, and then just obviously Access Code helps clean things up when you need it. We do play the 1 Unicorn and the 1 Cerberus. You could obviously cut this out for Phoenix if you prefer. I kind of like Cerberus right now. Again, just keeping monsters off the board is a little bit more relevant for things like Sprite or Tier, different things like that. A bit more so for Sprite in this case. And then lastly, we just have the 1 IP Masquerena and the 1 Dark Charmer. I feel like if you're playing Bystials and in this format and you have the ability to make dark, it's kind of become a mainstay staple for now in the meta. And then IP obviously just to help climb into the Unicorn piece, or any of your other links if they are viable at that time. And then for the Live Twin, Evil Twin package, it is pretty straightforward. It's 3 of everything. I don't think there's any reason not to. You want as much grind and as much longevity as possible. The argument is you could cut this down to 2 if you want, but I like having the ability to just dedicate 1 strictly to kind of the OTK play where you tribute it, bring 2 back, make another one. That goes through 2 on its own. So just having the 3rd spare is quite nice. And then we play the 3 of each in terms of Kiss a Kill for your draw and Lila for the pop, and that's really all there is to it. So that is it. That has been the deck profile. I hope you enjoyed it. If you haven't had the chance to pick this up and play around with the deck, especially if your locals is a little bit more looser and casual, or some people are taking a break from Tier, or you just want personally a break from Tier Sprite and want to test something different and fun, this is a really cool option, a really cheap option. I don't think there's any reason not to go ahead and pick up the core right now while everything is down. I've had a lot of fun with it. It's just been really nice to have a very linear, deck that gives my mind a break and I can really just enjoy playing. So with all that said, thank you all again so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Later.